you are now proposing tariffs against the United States' three biggest trading partners. Economists of all stripes say that ultimately consumers pay the price of tariffs.
I don't believe
Can
them.
you guarantee American families won't pay more?
I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow.
I cannot guarantee anything, okay? I cannot guarantee tomorrow. You know, no one knows what the future holds, and there's no certainty that you'll even be alive tomorrow. I mean, tonight, you could die in your sleep, massive heart attack, stroke, you could fall down the steps, break your neck, just like that. Don't depend on me to make you happy or lower prices. I mean, this is a capitalist society. I'm not going to tell companies to charge less. That would be un-American. And how can I possibly lower gas prices? That's happening in another part of the world, okay? Don't look to me to solve your problems, okay? You can do that yourself. You should appreciate the present moment.
Hello, everybody. It's Mr. Robbie here. One day before D-Day, the day before Dictator Day begins January 20th. Today is the 19th of January, 2025. Dictator Day, D-Day, begins tomorrow. And what does that mean for everybody? Well, that means the implementation or beginning of the implementation of Project 2025. So let's take a look at that, because I think there might be some people that haven't read it, or maybe never heard of it, or don't know what it means in their own lives or in the life of the country. It is a conservative policy agenda which was made by or crafted by the Heritage Foundation, which is a right-leaning organization, and they want to guide the future administration. So the key areas of focus include government restructuring. And in that restructuring, we have the first thing they want to do is expand presidential powers. Well, there is your dictatorship right there, expanding presidential powers, reducing checks and balances. That would also be included in the presidential powers. We've also seen some of that happening on a smaller scale right now. I don't have Facebook, I never will, but I have heard that Facebook has decided to end their fact-checking. And that's probably going to hurt a lot of people, and it's probably going to be, that policy will probably be adopted by other platforms as well. No more checks and balances in the government or in the private and business sectors. The Project 2025 also proposes replacing federal employees with only people who are aligned with the administration's vision, their conservative vision. Only people, only yes men and women. Economic policies will also, these are going to hurt a lot of people too. Billionaires might like it because it's gonna help them, but the regular person on the street, you know, the MAGA morons and normal people, it's not going to help them at all. Their tax reforms, flat taxes or consumption-based taxes. What does that mean? But let's sort of break that down a little bit, and then I'll get into it a little bit later, because it is important and complicated. Basically, it will simplify the individual income tax to two flat tax rates, 15% on incomes up to the Social Security wage base, which is $168,600 in 2024, and 30% above that. So 15% up to the Social Security wage base, and 30% above that. There will also be an unspecified, as yet unnamed, standard deduction, which would be included, but most other deductions and credits and exclusions would be eliminated. Doesn't that help? Doesn't that help poor people? Doesn't that help families? Doesn't that help everybody to just cut their exclusions, make them pay more for daycare and other services that they need because they're having to hold down 2 or 3 jobs in a household? So the flat tax refers to a system where all individuals and businesses are taxed at a single, uniform rate, regardless of their income level or financial status. Restricting abortion rights. We've already seen that happen, as already. The Roe versus Wade debacle. And the Supreme Court said, nope, it's not constitutional. So we'll leave it up to the states. And so that every state will have their own different abortion rights policy or non-policy, no abortion rights. They want to roll back LGBTQ plus protections. We already knew that, and that's going to also hurt a lot of people. It's going to hurt a lot of businesses. Is going to cause a lot of problems at work, at school. They want to redefine marriage laws to align with their traditional conservative values. Conservatives don't have values. They are Puritans. And the Puritans went out hundreds of years ago. Education reform. Yep, they want to abolish the Department of Education. They want to shift public education to reflect conservative principles and values. Immigration in Project 2025. Well, we've heard a lot about that, and there is a lot to talk about that as well. Implementing stricter immigration policies, including mass deportations. And Trump said he will start doing that on day 1. That is tomorrow, Dictator D-Day 1. Environmental policies, they want to roll back climate change initiatives, and that really is going to help the fires and the mudslides and the floods all over the country. That is really going to help, I'm sure. They want to promote fossil fuel development over renewable sources because just live for today, forget about tomorrow. As Trump said, he can't guarantee tomorrow. So might as well drill, baby, drill right now. Here's a little tidbit for you. Trump has claimed that we, as the United States, doesn't produce oil anymore. We need to do more drilling. The past 4 years, the United States has been and still is the largest producer of energy in the entire world on this planet, right behind me. That blue marble right behind me. The drilling, they have done more drilling than ever in the United States in the past 4 years. So, again, just more lies from Trump. And renewable energy sources, lots of people have mixed feelings or very strong feelings pro and against things like the windmills. I think they look beautiful. I think they're great. I think that they help a lot. And if there were more of them, they would certainly help a lot more communities. Let's go back to the flat tax business. The flat tax, as I said, is a proposed Project 2025 system where all individuals and businesses are taxed at a single uniform rate, regardless of their income level or financial status. So these are the key features. single tax rate. Everyone pays the same percentage of their income, simplifying the tax code. Next point, eliminating most deductions. Many deductions, exemptions, and tax credits would be removed to create a streamlined system, he says. Well, you know, everybody has their own need for certain deductions and exemptions, tax credits. Not everyone makes, $100,000 or more a year. There are going to be a lot of people unhappy with that, especially if you're a worker who, you're working minimum wage. You want to pay 15% of your tax, of your money on a plus you have to pay unemployment insurance as well. So, and then you have to, some places you have to pay state tax, federal tax, Social Security tax, and some places city tax. It depends where you live, where you work. That's a lot of money going to the government. Remember when Trump said, and other people have said, they won't tax your tips. Don't tax your tips. Well, what's going to happen is that, they won't tax your tips, but that will also mean that if you're a service, waitress, waiter, service person, that would mean that your company is probably going to pay you less, or they're going to take your tips from you and split them up with all of the people that work there. And you won't, of course, you won't be taxed on it, but what will be that the company, let's just say Starbucks, it doesn't matter, McDonald's you don't get tipped, but coffee shops, restaurants, your employer might decide, well, look, they're getting all these tips, they're not paying taxes on it, so I'm just going to lower their wage, so their hourly wage. What is that going to also mean for the big business guys who make millions a year? And people get very upset when they have these golden parachutes or huge stock options, or they get a bonus even when the company is doing shit. Well, they can, instead of calling it a bonus, they can call it a tip. The company has tipped their CEO or their CFO or their president or their chairman. They give them a tip, non-taxable. Here are the orange turd's goals starting day one, what he will do. Donald Trump's day one MAGA promises, all the things he's promised. Ending the war in Ukraine. He's going to do that on day one. He said it. Pardon January 6th defendants. Well, that's nice that he wants to pardon all of the violent, over 1,500 criminals that have been imprisoned for the crimes that they did to the country, to the Capitol, to police officers and other law enforcement people. Drill, drill, drill. We talked about that. We've already doing the drilling already. Cancel the electric vehicle mandate. Yeah, because that goes along with drill, drill, drill. We just want to rape the country and, burn, 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 and drill, drill, drill. Implement a 25% tariff, which is a tax on the American consumer or any consumer in America. 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada. Bring down grocery prices. Well, he said that he will do that on day one. And when asked about it, he said, I can't guarantee that. I can't guarantee anything. Close the border on day one. End Biden-era border policies. Reinstate travel ban. Well, there goes the beginning of, again, the Muslim ban is what he wants to put in again. Mass deportation program. End birthright citizenship. I will have another video on birthright citizenship or I might decide to include it in this, because that is also very important. End DEI policies in federal agencies. Yeah, because we don't want equality or inclusivity in the government anymore. That doesn't work. That doesn't help anybody. Cut federal funds for schools teaching critical race theory. Point of fact, not one single school in the United States is teaching critical race theory. Ban transgender women from women's sports. End gender-affirming care practices. And ban transgender people from the military. Do you see a pattern here? Does anybody see a pattern here in these last 5 points? I'd say somebody is a bigot.
You promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The last thing I'd like to mention or to talk about is something that I haven't heard too much about, although only in passing, not any real details, because Trump doesn't talk about it, but he should, and people should be listening to this, about birthright citizenship. He says he will end birthright citizenship day one. That means tomorrow, or for some people it's already today, the 20th of November, 12 p.m., when he is unfortunately inaugurated. The birthright citizenship is the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which grants citizenship to all individuals born in the U.S. regardless of their parents' immigration status. So what he will do is he will sign an executive order, which also will be probably brought to the Supreme Court, because it would require amending the Constitution, which is, like I said, very lengthy and difficult. Any kind of executive action on this most certainly face legal challenges and likely will be struck down. But what are the consequences to this? Well, first of all, ending birthright citizenship. MAGA, you should know this, that if there is no birthright citizenship, don't have any babies, because there's no guarantee that your children, well, they won't have birthright citizenship. I said in a previous video, the U.S. Constitution is unique. It's one of a kind, and it is the Constitution that other countries and other developing nations, developing democracies look to for inspiration in creating their own societies, their own constitutions. If Trump starts tearing it apart, which he has promised to do in these ways, the Roe versus Wade abortion rights, getting rid of LGBTQ plus rights, marriage laws, birthright citizenship, all of these things are guaranteed in the Constitution. He wants to get rid of them all. It's not going to be easy, but we have to fight everything against him. We have to fight every thing that he wants to do. We cannot let him be the dictator that he wants to be. I know a lot of these things either won't happen or will take time to happen, if at all. But because he talks about it, because it's in the Project 2025 manifesto, it needs to be discussed, it needs to be watched, and it needs to be fought against tooth and nail. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate if you've stayed this long to the video. I thank you all for subscribing, hitting that bell, and sharing. Share everything that I've got to other people. Let them know I'm here. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. I'd like to hear from everybody, even if you're MAGA. And I point out these things especially for MAGA, so you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You fucked around, and now you're going to find out what is going to happen to your rights, to your freedoms, to your country. You say you want your country back. You say you got your country back. Well, this is the country you're getting back. Or this is the country you're going to create. Make America Puritan again. I guess that's really what the agenda is. This is Mr. Robbie. Thank you all for watching. And yes, you will see me later. Come rain or come shine.
As a Trump impersonator of 20 years, could someone ask the United States Supreme Court if I get immunity too? It would be tremendous.